How are we doing? I know this is going to come as a surprise to you guys that I'm live on a Thursday night, but you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm live on a Thursday night. I'm a little bit more subdued tonight because I just got done working out. I wanted to go take a shower, but I thought that if I take a shower, I probably won't even come to the live stream. So I'm here, dirty, sweaty. I've still got my protein shake right here. I'm trying to not be such a skinny little rat. So I'm trying to work out. So I just got done doing my workout with my kettlebells. By the way, I'm new to kettlebell training and I'm really excited. I'm really excited, y'all. Like, everyone knows that I struggle with strength training. I mean, look at me. I'm like skinny guy. I'm much more of a runner. I love long distance running, not for the sport, not for the health benefits, but for my mental health. It's definitely a mood booster for me. But this year, I really want to try to sculpt my body, and that's a really big goal of mine. And I think kettlebell training so far has proven to be relatively more fun than using dumbbells. Anyway, that's that. Um, the reason why we're here live on a Thursday night is because I'm going to be in Toledo this weekend. Just a really quick trip. I'm going to go up there Saturday. I'm going to come back on Sunday. So we'll still be live tomorrow night. We'll still be live Sunday night, but we will not be live Saturday night. So consider this to be somewhat of a replacement of our Saturday night live stream. I'm going up to Toledo to handle some business, some estate planning business, as well as celebrating my grandmother's birthday. It was on February 7th. I haven't been up to see her yet. So I'm going to take her out to the casino. I'm going to buy her food. I'm going to do all the things with her on Saturday. And then I'll be back late on Sunday. So that's why I'm here today. Hey Tika, how are you? Hey DJ. Hey David Portillo Davila. The T is on Discord. It is. Right now, David and I are actually discussing kettlebell training. By the way, I almost broke my ass um, tonight. I was doing kettlebell swings, and it's just so important that when you are doing any type of training, that you focus primarily on correct form before you try to lift really heavy weights. So that's kind of what I am trying to do right now, and it's a lot of trial and error. I really do need to start recording myself so that I can review my form to see what's going on. Am I doing it correctly? Am I not doing it correctly? I need to either do stuff in the mirror or record myself. So yeah, I think I did something wrong in my kettlebell swings. I think it's because I am such a squat master that I want to squat when I do my kettlebell swings, but the kettlebell swing is not about squatting, it's about hinging. It's a hinge movement. And so I think the the conflict between me squatting and hinging at the same time, it almost broke my ass. So, but we survived. Oh my God, girl, am I an expert when it comes to estate planning? Actually, yes. Unfortunately, I'm gonna tell you the story. You know, in fact, Tika, I'm about to text you right now, so I may go black on this live stream because I want to text you right now as a reminder for me to carry on this conversation with you privately. Hold on. Okay. Um, so unfortunately, I am somewhat of an expert on estate planning because I've had so many near-death experiences with my family, and I am, for better or worse, the person that a lot of people in my world depend on and trust and they just people trust me a lot, and that's not by mistake. It's intentional. Like I want people to trust me, and I am a trustworthy person. So a lot of people depend on me for a lot of stuff. Specifically, my family, a lot of grandparents, parents, of course. I'm an only child, so unfortunately, for better or worse, a lot of this stuff really does fall upon me. Back during COVID, a loved one I've told this story many, many, many times, and this is kind of, COVID really kind of radicalized me in a lot of ways politically. And it really relates to this very personal story about a loved one that was literally dying. She had, I think, 3 liters of blood. Or no, no, it wasn't even 3 liters. It was something insane. It was something insane. It was like 2 liters of blood in her entire body. The doctor called me and he tells me, I don't know how she's even living. Imagine a doctor calling you on the phone and being like, well, don't know what's going on here. I mean, I can laugh about it now, but like the terror. I mean, all I remember is being in the middle of Kinko's. For those that don't know what Kinko's is like a print shop. I was in the middle of Kinko's printing my loved one's estate planning documents, and I just had a complete breakdown in the middle of Kinko's. This poor, older white woman rubbing me on the back. It was a mess. A fucking mess. Um, having to having to manage estate planning in the midst of a loved one dying potentially, or a loved one having died, it's not what you want to do. It's not what you want to do. And the reason why is because not only are you making these really critical decisions, but you're making these decisions while under duress. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're never supposed to make really important decisions when you are emotionally incapacitated, when you're in free fall. Do you know what I mean? And so the last thing you want to do is be unprepared when it comes to estate planning. You want to have these important conversations before a loved one passes away, before they become mentally incapacitated. You want to have these conversations frequently before the time comes, right? Because it just makes your life easier. When a loved one has passed away, you're already distraught about the loved one, right? You don't want to also become distraught over finances. So unfortunately, I've had to help to manage 3 different estate planning documents, not even including mine and my partner's. And I have a couple of lawyers who help me to go through all of that stuff. But having like estate planning is really all about transparency and communication. That's it. You are an individual and you are communicating your desires with the things that you have earned in your lifetime, right? And you're entrusting someone to carry out those wishes. And in order for that person to do that effectively, there needs to be a high level of transparency and communication, period, right? So, um, that's what I want to avoid. I want to have things in order to make it easier on my loved ones. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Um, and there's easy ways. Hey, Pittman, there's easy ways to get started. I mean, the basics is like you want to have a power of attorney both financially and physically, right? And we can have a whole stream about this, Tika. In fact, maybe what I should do is I should plan a estate planning one-on-one live stream. I am hopefully getting oh my God, don't get me started. Hopefully my internet will be fixed in the near future, in which case I'll be able to do horizontal streams where I can do more presentation style live streams that are more educational and more value focused. and not just me ranting and screaming, which I love that. And by the way, I'm gonna do that shit tonight because we're talking about Ma'am Danny and his damn socialism in New York City. We're gonna rant tonight, but we're gonna give value first. So be patient. Um, so yeah, once I get my internet together, which I'm hoping will be Monday, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, all my issues will be solved on Monday. If not, we're working through it. But maybe I'll do an estate planning 101, some of the steps you can take to secure your loved one's belongings, to make sure that it's a smooth transfer, and to ensure that the fucking animals that are around, prowling around our family, that they don't sink their claws into you. Because unfortunately, I have also seen, I can't count, I don't have enough hands to count how many times I have witnessed conflict, ruined relationships over estates. And it's a travesty because it can be prevented. And ultimately, it's not the people who are still living that's at fault. It's the person who left the mess, right? I I say this ad nauseum to my family members when I hear about all this drama in the family, but it's like, why are you mad at your aunt? Why are you mad at your sister? Be mad at your dead daddy. Be mad at your dead daddy for not taking care of his damn business. And I mean that. Like, it is not the fault of the people trying to take care of the business. Yeah, you do have some bad actors who are trying to take advantage and they're stealing, da 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 da. But ultimately, the responsibility lies with the people or the individual leaving the estate to their loved ones. It's their responsibility. So, next time you get into a dispute with somebody, don't be mad at them. Be mad at the dead person. That's my hot take there. But this is why talking about estate planning is super duper important. And it's why something everyone should be discussing with their family. It's uncomfortable, but would you rather have the uncomfortable conversation now or the uncomfortable destruction of your relationships with your family after your loved one has passed away? Which one would you rather, the uncomfort now or the devastation later? Anyway, you done got me all into a whole sub rant. A whole sub rant. I'm supposed to be talking about Ma'am Danny and his fucking socialism tonight. I didn't mean to get into the whole estate planning situation, but that's something that I have unfortunately been forced to learn a lot about in the last well, no, since 2020. The last 6 years, I've been really forced to learn about the ins and outs of estate planning through my attorneys, through family, through research, and it's just something that I think everyone needs to be prepared for. But let's get into tonight's stream because I don't want to be here very long. Before we get into my rant for the night, let's read some comments first. I sent you a new message on Discord. Okay, DPD. Hey Pitman. What's up, Equinox? What's up? What's going on, Equinox? Oh shit, we pulling all the skeletons out the closet. This should be good. You are Stulit? Deport? Are you a financial planner? I got a question. I'm not a financial planner. I got a question. What's the question? Just look at the results of socialism in Cuba, Venezuela, and Mao's China, Pol Pot's Cambodia. I agree. I agree. We're gonna read, like I like to always start every stream off before my rant. I like to read a little bit from the Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday. Today is February 19th. So let's see what February 19th has in store. It's titled The Banquet of Life. It's just one page. We read one page and hopefully you get some value from it. Um, so, the banquet of life. Remember to conduct yourself in life as if at a banquet. As something being passed around comes to you, reach out your hand and take a moderate helping. Does it pass you by? Don't stop it. It hasn't come yet? Don't burn in desire for it, but wait until it arrives in front of you. Act this way with children, a spouse, toward position, with wealth. One day it will make you worthy of a banquet with the gods. Epictetus and Chondrion 15. The next time you see something you want, remember Epictetus metaphor of life's banquet. As you find yourself getting excited, ready to do anything and everything to get it, the equivalent of reaching across the table and grabbing a dish out of someone else's hands, just remind yourself that's bad manners and unnecessary. Then wait patiently for your turn. This metaphor has other interpretations too. For instance, we might reflect that we're lucky to have been invited to such a wonderful feast, gratitude, or that we should take our time and savor the taste of what's on offer, enjoying the present moment. But that to stuff ourselves sick with food and drink serves no one, least of all our health. Gluttony is a deadly sin after all. That at the end of the meal, it's rude to not help the host clean up and do the dishes. Selflessness. And finally, the next time it's our turn to host and treat others just as we have been treated, charity. Enjoy the meal. I think that's great. I think that the banquet of life. I think he's totally right. There are a lot of different interpretations you can take from that about being um, gracious, enjoying the present, being charitable, being selfless. Those are all things that will serve you well in life. So that's a good one. I like that one. Now let's talk some shit, okay? Because the Democratic Socialists are out of fucking control. They're out of fucking control in New York City. And you know what? I'll be honest with you guys. I want Ma'am Danny to get everything he wants. I want him to do everything he says he's gonna do. I want him to tax the wealthy until they're broke. I really want him to do everything he has his mind set on. Okay? Because in my opinion, I really do believe this. I think that society needs to try socialism. Every blue moon, we've got to try socialism again. Because I think that people forget. Out of sight, out of mind. People forget how devastating socialism and communism is. This is a social experiment that has been tried over and 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 over again. And I just think that, you know what, these people in New York City, they voted for this democratic socialist. Give them socialism. Give them socialism. I hope and pray that Mom Danny is able to succeed at every single initiative that he pushes forward. Because then it will remind everybody about how terrible socialism is. Okay? So, why am I talking about this right now? The reason why is because Mom Danny is playing political games. He is trying to pressure Kathy Hochul into performing a wealth tax. He promised that he would do this, accomplish this. And what a lot of people don't understand is that he can't do a lot of the things that he promised he was going to do. And so it requires him to do some political maneuvering. And so he has essentially threatened Kathy Hochul that if she does not employ a wealth tax, that he's going to have to do what he has to do to make up for New York City's budget shortfall, right? Now, what is it that he's going to do? He's going to plan to raise property taxes in New York City. Now, the thing about these liberals, y'all, the thing about these liberals is that a lot of their ideas are great. The ideas are great. They're lovely. They're generous. They're kind. They're thoughtful, right? They're being so thoughtful. They're being so generous. They're being so charitable. They're thinking about the little man, right? But what they consistently fail to think about is second and third reactions, right? If this happens, then this happens, then this happens. It's almost like they don't understand how incentives work. It's like, for example, it's like the whole rent control. Like the whole rent control idea has been debunked so many fucking times around the entire world, by the way. You have some socialist countries right now that are doing away with rent control because of how destructive it is at bringing rents down, right? That's what I mean. It's like these ideas, like rent control sounds cute, right? It sounds cute. And in theory, yeah, why not? Why not? Why not do that, right? But then they don't understand that there's consequences and that people operate based off of personal incentives. It's human nature. So let's bring it back to the current topic at hand. We're talking about these property tax. I think it's 9.8% property tax increase that he's proposing if Kathy Hochul doesn't tax the wealthy. What do you think is going to happen? Can anyone in the chat Can anyone in the chat let me know what happens when property taxes increase? Let me know. What happens when property taxes increase? Well, I can tell you what's going to happen. I can tell you what's going to happen. Rents are going to go up. Rents are going to go up, right? And I know you're going to say, now what about rent control? What about rent control? Well, if the I'm a landlord, so I know how this shit goes. I literally know how this shit goes. I'm a landlord. Property taxes goes up, and let's say you have a rent control property. So now your costs have now gone up exponentially, and you have no way of recouping that capital, that money. So what do? You stop maintaining the fucking building. You stop spending money. You cut spending. See, this is where this is where the government could learn from capitalists. When my expenses, when wealth is being stolen from me via tax, when that happens, there's only two things you can do in response. You can either raise more money or you can cut your spending. Those are the only two things you can do. There's two roads. Make more money, cut spending. Landlords, if they can't make more money because they have rent stabilization in their fucking apartments, they're gonna cut spending. Because that's how human nature works. God damn it. I'm not saying anything controversial here. This is just 1 + 1 = 2. Take your calculators out, guys. So, that's just one thing that happens, right? And then it's a domino effect. Again, I can admit that liberals, I think a lot of liberals mean well. They mean well. I don't want people to be paying exorbitant amounts of rent, right? But the fact of the matter is that the places in the country that have rent control are coincidentally the most expensive places to rent in fucking America. Now, now, perhaps that's a coincidence. I don't know. I don't know. Perhaps that's a coincidence that's how that works out. But something ain't clean in the milk. Something ain't clean in the milk. Okay. So, Mom Danny, let me read the article. Let me read the article because I done already got off. I done already got off tangent. Let me just read the article from Political. Mom Danny unveiled a 127 billion preliminary budget proposal for next fiscal year. As part of the plan, he's relying in large part on a 9.5% increase in city property taxes, which he can do without state approval, to help close a projected 5.4 billion revenue shortfall over the coming 2 fiscal years. But wait, there's more. In order to balance the budget, as he must by the law, he's also proposing drawing down some 1.2 billion from the city's rainy day fund and retiree health care reserves. It's not funny. It's not funny, but it's like this is what happens under socialism. This is nothing new. You can't spend money. You keep kicking the can down the road, but someone's got to pay. Someone's got to pay. And it's looking like that time is now. But you would think common sense would tell you, okay, well, I've been spending all this money. I got this credit card. I got all this interest on my fucking credit card, all this debt now. Why don't I just stop spending money? No, that's not what the socialist thinks. They suffer from gluttony. They just want to consume more. They want to spend more. They want to spend more. It's 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 crazy. It is so again. Let him have socialism in New York City. I hope he succeeds. I hope he raises the property taxes. I hope he drains the rainy day fund. I hope he drains the retiree health care reserves. I hope that they have socialism because we need another case study about why socialism fails. We need to remind people and have real life examples of why it's a sucky system and why capitalism is the best system in the entire world. We need reminders. The article goes on to say the city hasn't increased property taxes since the financial turmoil and the aftermath of 9/11 attacks. So this would be historic. This would be historic. Kathy said, Kathy already told that bitch, motherfucker, I'm not taxing the rich. My donors. Listen, Kathy is not brand new to this game. She's a fucking sleazeball. She's in bed with the crony capitalists. She knows how she makes her money. The bitch is a lot of things, but dumb is not one of them. Okay, dumb is Kathy Hochul. You can call her a lot of things. You can call her a lot of things. Dumb is not one of them. That's not one of the things you can call Kathy Hochul, right? She knows she can't do a wealth tax. And it's not because, oh, it would just drive away. It's not for good reasons. It's not because it's bad for the economy. But no, it's because those are her donors. Come on now. We got to clock these bitches for who they are. Okay? Um, this is what Mom Danny said. There are two paths that we can walk, one that offers long term stability, and a second with significant pain that we deeply hope to avoid. Cut the spending. But here's what they are doing: the flooding of illegals and the burden that they have caused on systems. He doesn't want to do anything about that. He doesn't want to do anything about that. It's despicable. Um, Speaker of City Council said, at a time when New Yorkers are already grappling with an affordability crisis, dipping into rainy day reserves and proposing significant property tax increases should not be on the table whatsoever. The speaker said in a statement with the council member Linda Lee, who chairs the chamber's finance committee, The speaker and Lee did not say anything in their statement about where they stand on increasing taxes on the wealthy, though they suggested there are additional areas of savings that can be identified in the city budget to help address the deficit. Stop spending. Stop spending. That's for some reason when it comes to Democrats and a lot of fucking cunts, Republican cunts, by the way, because don't get it twisted. The Republicans don't believe in fiscal conservatism. They don't believe in that either. Don't let them don't let them lie. Don't let them piss in your mouth and tell you it's raining. Conservative Republicans, they don't believe in fiscal responsibility at all. Okay, take note. Trump's latest bill, the big beautiful bullshit bill that he rammed through Congress, that he had rammed through. They don't believe in fiscal responsibility either. They're just as bad as Democrats. Maybe a little better, but it's not worth mentioning. It's negligible at this point. Okay, it's negligible, especially when we have Trump's spending bill, the largest spending bill in American U.S. history. It's disgusting, disgusting. But again, I just want to say that like, I really want Mom Donnie to succeed in everything he wants to accomplish. I want him to raise everybody's taxes. I want all the rich and wealthy to move out of New York City. I want him to create all the free grocery stores with no produce and no food. I just want him to do everything that he wants to do. I want him to do everything that he wants to do. I really do. I hope he succeeds. Capitalism has brought millions upon millions upon millions of people out of abject poverty across the world. And it's only in the wealthiest nations in the world that complain about capitalism. Isn't that ironic? The wealthiest countries in the world have the people who are complaining and bitching about capitalism's running everything. No, capitalism is the best. It's the best system that exists. Create a new one if you want to. Let's try some new shit out, I guess. But the reason I think that capitalism gets a bad rap is because of crony capitalism, right? And we can talk about this ad nauseum. We can talk about this ad nauseum, but there is a lot of crony capitalism that rewards the rich and wealthy and corporatists. And that's not what I support as a capitalist myself. I don't support crony capitalism. I don't believe that the government should be picking and choosing winners in the free market at all. Because what happens is you get things like the healthcare debacle here in America, where you go in for a headache and you come out having to file bankruptcy, right? You go in for a Band-Aid and you got to sell your left kidney, right? That's what you get in America. Up in Canada, you go in to get a couple stitches and they say, well, why don't you just kill yourself? Up in Canada. Listen, I need to do an update story on Canada and the MAID program. I've got to do an updated stream on that shit, because I told you guys about how demonic the MAID program was in Canada and how evil it was and how disgusting it was. And it's coming out. I'm right. I'm always right. I'm always right. I'm always right. And we're seeing stories right now about how disgusting it is, about people being killed off. It's like state sanctioned murder. And by the way, it's all to support the wealthy people down in America, right? The MAID program in Canada has now one of the highest places in the world where you can buy kidneys and buy transplants. Well, who are they for? Wealthy Americans. And so basically, they're targeting the poor, they're targeting the mentally ill, they're targeting the homeless, they're targeting the disenfranchised, they're targeting all the members of society, the weakest members of society, in order to prop up rich Americans who want to live longer. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. But we'll get there. Don't worry, we'll get. I have a lot of shit. Listen, y'all. I'm kind of going through a lot these days in my personal life, but believe me, I have a lot of shit to talk about on this stream. I got a lot of shit to talk about. Okay, we will get there. But I just want to say, I just want to talk about Mom Danny, because it's a bunch of bullshit. What's going on, and I really want him to succeed. I really want, I want New York City to become socialist. I really, honestly want them to do all the socialist policies in the world to their heart's content, just so that we can all witness the destruction of New York City. And that's what I want. Be mad at me if you want to, but that's what I genuinely want. I want them to try it out. So people, so that everybody else can say, oh, you know what? I was thinking we needed socialism, but no, actually, it still doesn't work. It still doesn't work. Yeah. Okay, got it. It still doesn't work. Yeah. Um, um, uh, there's some comments. Our healthcare system in America is so great. It's terrible. Our education system is shit too. Those things are not happening because of capitalism. What are you talking about? Our education system is shit too. What the fuck are you talking about? Our education is run by the state, by the federal government. What are you talking about? What? Are you talking about college? Again, meddling from the government. Yeah. Uh, Stop. Your wish will come true. Although New York City was already a shithole before socialism. Well, that's true. That's true. Telling Democrat to stop spending is like telling a goldfish to stop swimming back and forth. True. Hey, Bishop. Hey, girl. What's going on? So that's the first story I wanted to chat about and rant about. There's another story I want to rant about. This transgender person from Rhode Island. We've got a problem, y'all. We've got a problem with the transgenders. Okay? And before I talk about this story, I want to clarify my stance on, trans folk in general. Um, because a lot of people have called me a transphobe and you're transphobic and da 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 da. Like, I'm transphobic, fine. Even though I beat the allegations several months ago with that Versace scandal when I defended the trans model on Instagram. I defended that trans model by Versace and I beat the allegations then. I did. I did. But people still call me a transphobe. I don't give a fuck. Listen, there's two types of trans people in the world. You have, the mentally ill trans person that has gender dysphoria, right? This is a medical condition. This is a medical blight on the mind, okay? These are people who don't want to bother other people. They they want to not feel that gender dysphoria. They want to be at peace. They don't want to bother nobody. They want to dress up and feel better and just, do what they got to do to feel better and to not want to fucking kill themselves, right? They're not waving flags around. They're not being activists. They're not. I have trans friends, trans girlfriends who they give fish. They give fish. And listen, a lot of y'all don't want to admit this, But it's true. If you're not serious about blending in as a woman in society, then you've got issues. Okay? But again, I'm getting beside myself. This first group of trans people, they don't bother people. They want to blend in. They don't even want you to know that they're trans. And you know why? Because that triggers their gender dysphoria. Even acknowledging the fact that they're trans or letting you know that they're trans triggers them mentally. So I have a lot of compassion for those individuals, right? And those individuals do not deserve the slander against them, the hatred against them, and just a general hatred. They don't deserve that, okay? Now, number two is the transgender. This is the narcissist. And this is the almost said the tranny word. Oh, well, you know what? Fuck this. This stream's been demonetized. It's fine. Um, you got the narcissist. These are narcissists who are using trans identity to fuel their narcissism. They're also sick people. Listen, trans people got some shit going on up there. They got some mental shit going on. Anybody that thinks of their opposite sex, they got some shit going on up there, okay? Let's just call it what it is. We're honest on this channel. We're honest. Narcissists, they also got some shit going on up there. And they're damaging and they're malignant. Malignant narcissists are what you are seeing in the trans umbrella right now. These are individuals who only are obsessed with themselves. They want attention. They have this grandiosity about themselves. They want to force you to use pronouns for them that don't align to how they fucking look. And why? It's a power grab. It's complete narcissistic power grab. Okay? It's disgusting. Disgusting. And what ends up happening is, in order to continue to fuel these narcissistic tendencies, they end up going on the hormones, they end up changing their gender, whatever, butchering themselves. They end up doing all this shit, thinking this is only going to give them more power to wield against others, right? And then they fuck themselves up because you know Big Pharma loves it. They love having a patient for life. So they fuck them up, right? Now they're really fucked up. They're already fucked up, but now they're really fucked up. And so then they get all these surgeries, they get all this shit done, and they still don't have the power. And the reason why is because they're not the opposite sex. Trans women are not women. Trans women are trans women. And that's not controversial to say. It's just not. It's the truth. The truth is not controversial. Full stop. And so then telling a narcissist that the truth is the truth, no matter your feelings, then what happens? Narcissistic rage. And that's why you got all these trans people murdering folk. So this brings me to Rhode Island. Let's talk about this latest story from Rhode Island. A suspect accused of shooting and killing two people at a Rhode Island ice rink on Monday before killing himself was identified as transgender and had a history of past family conflict over his gender identity, a local news outlet reported. This is the wrong article. This article is like very milquetoast. It's not giving me the tea. I know the tea because I read the article. I'm not, so just believe me when I say this. Take my word for it. This article, right up, this is milquetoast. This is like boring. The tea is that his wife divorced him after he underwent surgery, right? The delusion became too much and it affected the marriage. And good for her. She tried to escape, right? Now, this is my assumption, this is my speculation, this is my conspiracy theory. But I believe that when she divorced him, there was probably a fight over custody. She probably claimed, and rightfully so, that he was mentally deranged, unbalanced, and she needed to have full custody, all that jazz, right? He couldn't take it. He couldn't take it, right? His name is Robert. He goes by Roberta. I mean, Roberta, stop. And let me find a picture of him. Let me find a picture of him, because you're gonna gag. You're gonna gag. You've been trans for 4 years, and you look like this. You're gonna gag, and this is how you know you're a narcissist. You're a sick narcissist, because you don't want to blend into society. You put on a dusty, musty, shake and go wig, and you want people to call you ma'am. Stop. 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 It's too much. Let me find a picture of this person. Rhode Island trans shooting. I can't. I can't. I can't. This. It's not funny. It's not funny. But this is him. Wait. This is him. This is Roberta. This is Roberta. Sick. Sick. Listen, I know y'all get mad at me when I talk about passing politics, but if you're not passing, get the fuck out of a woman's bathroom. Listen, I'm sorry. The fact of the matter is, trans women have been in women's bathrooms for decades, for centuries, forever. It didn't become a problem until these disgusting animal activists started waving their dicks around the fucking bathrooms and then demanding that women be okay with it. It wasn't a problem until we started mutilating children in the name of this religion that we call transgenderism. It's not right. It's not right. So, anyway, she divorced this man for his transition or whatever, and the narcissistic rage overtook his body. He ends up killing his son and the ex-wife. Ends up hurting the grandparents. Pure demonic corruption. Purely. Purest form. Ends up killing himself. Men are not okay. Men are not okay. Men are not okay. So that's what happened. That's what happened. I just really want to talk about these two stories today. I want Ma'am Danny to do all the socialism he can in New York City so we can have another example of how that shit doesn't work. I mean, another form of socialism. Let's talk about it. All of these fast food workers, mandatory minimums, $20 an hour to flip burgers at McDonald's. They done did this shit in Seattle. They done did this shit in New York City. And what is happening? Exactly what us capitalists told you would happen. They shutting places down. They're reducing the hiring. They're replacing the labor with machines. They're increasing the prices. And our customers are buying less, so the companies are failing. They're going out of business. What the fuck did we tell you? I mean, again, I want the people who want socialism to get socialism. I really do. I really do. I want the people that want socialism to get socialism. I feel like every 30 years, maybe every 30, 50, every 30 years, 30, 40 years, every 40 years, we need to try socialism in some pockets of the United States of America. We need to try it out. Let the girls eat cake. Let them try it out, right? And every time it fails, I'll be there to tell you, I told you so. I'll be there to tell you about, because I'm that motherfucker that says, I told you so, bitch. Yeah, I'll be a cunt. I told you so. I want, I want it to work. I want them to get socialism in New York City. That's what I want. We need to try it out again. We got to try that shit out again, right? Um, so let's read some comments. Getting 20 per hour sounds really reasonable. It's not, though. It's not. Because it's a low skill job. Unless you're a manager at McDonald's, why should you be getting paid 20 bucks an hour? Also, I need you guys to put, for people who claim to be so empathetic, I need you guys to put yourself in the shoes of business owners. I run a restaurant. I have run a restaurant for 10 years. Okay? I've managed a business for 10 years that employs other people. I'm telling you right now that if I had to pay my employees $20 an hour, even high school, if I had to pay a 15-year-old 15 and a half year old high schooler 20 bucks an hour to hand a bag of food to people, to run a sandwich out, if I had to do that, we would shut down. We would shut down. It's not reasonable. 20 bucks an hour for everybody is not reasonable. Um, let's read some comments. Weird you focus on the trans aspect. Um, I'm not the one focusing on the trans aspect. It's the wife that focused on the trans aspect. It's the fact that the reason they were divorced was because of his trans identity. It's the fact that there was multiple major issues with his identity within the family. It's called talking about fucking motive. What are you talking about? Why are you focusing on the trans aspect? I like your style. You pull no punches and you yell it like it is, and it is, that is. Listen, I mean, we are a freedom of speech platform. I mean, for those that maybe you're new here, thank you if you're a new commenter, a new person here. Welcome to the community. Feel free to subscribe. But we believe in freedom of speech here. We believe in having dialogue and conversations, even if feelings get hurt. Listen, we scream at each other all the time. I might call you a dumb cunt, and you might call me a dumb fucking cunt, and it's water off a duck's back. We have disagreements all the time. I don't really care that much, right? Um, it's just the way I communicate. It's fine. But you can say whatever you want here. You know, you can make fun of me. You can call me bad words. You call me racial slurs. I don't. You call me slurs. I don't care. We're not going to ban you. But what we don't allow is spam. That's really, and we don't dox people either. But that doesn't happen often. We did have a situation where there was fighting happening in the chat, and someone put someone else's phone number and meet me here and call me here and all this. I was like, no, 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 we're not doing that here. But um, just don't spam. Don't dox people. You can say what you want to say. Um, yeah. So if you appreciate content like that, then yeah, give me a sub. I'd appreciate it. Bro, spitting common sense nonstop. And by the way, I'm not a smart. I don't consider myself to be very smart. I really don't. I went to college. I studied nutrition. I minored in business management. Like, I don't consider myself to be incredibly smart. I think I'm average intelligence. Okay, I don't have a huge ego like that, right? But I do have common sense, and I do understand incentives because I work in business. I manage a business. I like money, right? I'm a capitalist pig. I understand how incentives work because I understand human nature. So common sense and me are like this. Um, Roberta was totally possessed. Roberta was crazy. Not Bette Midler. Not Bette Midler. McDonald's is super greedy though. They are. But eat somewhere else. 20 bucks per hour after New York City taxes it goes down to 8 an hour. Okay. So good point. Um, Good point there. But is the problem the taxes or the wage? AOT. What's the bigger problem, the wage or the taxes? Because you're right. You're totally right. 20 bucks, but I don't think so. Don't think so. Because 20 bucks an hour in Ohio, pretty damn good. We don't tax like that in like the girls do in New York. The reason why taxation, income taxes, is so um, virulent, is that virulent? Is that the right word? Virulent? Viral? It's the reason they're so bad, I'll just say that they're bad, um, is because you're not getting a return on your investment. Your tax dollars are not working for you at all. Not at all. And that's not an opinion, that's a fact. Your tax dollars benefit billionaires, they benefit the elites. And I don't think I have to even argue that point anymore. Listen. I thought I didn't have to argue that point 10 years ago, but I really don't have to argue that point today in 2026 that your taxes don't go to shit. Your ROI on your taxes is disgusting, disgustingly low. So if we stopped spending so much money and wasting some spending, if we stopped wasting so much taxpayer money and instead gave that back to the individuals, you'd be so much better off. This is just very simple logic here. Because, and I say this all the time, but I can waste my own money. I can go into debt all on my own. I've done it before. I've gone into debt before. I can waste my money all by myself. I can run up an American Express credit card with the quickness. I don't need to give my money to the government to let them waste it for me. I just think that's inefficient. That that's inefficient. I can go buy an Hermes bag for 4K right now and go into debt for that. I don't need to give that much money to the government to them to piss off to Israel. I don't need that. I think that's inefficient. So so no, I totally reject the notion that it's the wages and the taxes. I totally reject that. I totally reject that. It is a complete distortion to even discuss wages when your wages are being plundered, completely plundered. I don't know. Just my opinion though. McDonald's is one of the biggest real estate empires on earth and pay their employees shit. Maybe you're right. Stop working at McDonald's then. Again, People have choices. These are choices. Open up a competing restaurant that pays their employees more. Let the free market decide. But here is the problem. The free market can't decide because we're a crony capitalist nation. We allow the government to pick winners and choosers. What happens is you get these big companies who are able to lobby politicians. This is a sub mini rant here, but um, let's talk about tobacco. Why why do we why do we even sell tobacco? Well, the reason why, I mean, there are zero, there are zero positive effects of smoking tobacco. It's literally toxic. Same goes for alcohol, except what red wine. We can talk about red wine. Um, the reason why is because these industries are able to lobby politicians. The same thing, let's talk about Florida, what happened with DeSantis. And by the way, I like DeSantis overall. I hate him too because he is a cuck for Israel. So don't get me started. Don't get me started. Um, but when he banned fake meat, beyond meat down there, why is he picking winners and losers in the free market? If people want to eat fake, disgusting meat down in Florida, they should be able to choose to eat that. I am so tired of authoritarians trying to make decisions for individuals. Because ultimately, when they do that, they make things worse. They make things worse. Guys, um, our taxes don't do much. There's why the government borrow money and it's 40. You're right. I mean, you're right. Restaurants are a sure fail business like 80% of the time. You're right. You're right. That's why we are here. Spam police, yes, man. Both taxes and wages and natural debt went from 36 to 38 trillion a year. That's the problem. Dollars being devalued and decimated. Guys, I'm sorry to end the stream, but I really need to go to bed. I need to take a shower and get ready for bed. But I really did just want to come here to rant about these two stories about Miami Danny's property tax proposals. I mean, he's such a dumb fuck. But again, I really want him to do all the socialist policies. I want him to do rent control to the max. I want him to take all private property and give it to the government. Let the government have all the houses in New York City. I really want all the socialism to happen in New York City. I do. Um, um, and then the transgender psychopath narcissist. I had to talk about that. What a mess. But yeah, I just want to give you guys this bonus stream because I will not be live on Saturday, but we will be live tomorrow night. So stay tuned for tomorrow night. I just wanted to give a little bit of something. I know I've been really a little bit out of sorts lately. I've got some personal stuff going on behind the scenes. If you're in Discord, you know about it. If you watch the members only stream, you know about it. Um, but I'm trying to just do at least the bare minimum of like streaming 3 nights a week. I'm trying to stick to that, even though I don't really want to. Um, so we'll see. Anyway, guys, thanks for being here. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.